This is Michael Stipe representing R.E.M. We'll be in the hang. Come on by. We got together in March of '97 in Hawaii and put down about 40 odd songs on tape, all using drum machines, most written without guitar. And we had already kind of embarked on what was going to be a very experimental record for us. When he, and 7 months later, when we got back together in the studio, and he said he was ready to retire and didn't want to do it anymore. It was as if someone had pulled the floor out from under us. The one thing that I really wanted from this record was that the feeling be very real. I mean, what I get from our early work, Murmur, Reckoning particularly, and Chronic Town, is that although there might not have been words, there might have been words that were utter nonsense, you get a feeling from those records that's very, very real. The content of the lyric is a little more thought out now than it was in 1983 when I was 23 years old. I have learned over the years how to write a pop lyric. I couldn't possibly be all the people that I've written, all the characters that I've written songs about. I would be utterly schizophrenic and a lot more interesting than I am. Peter already gave me, well, there's 5 songs that he's given me for the next record. And he warned me about the first one. He said, if you're able to put a vocal and a melody on this song, I'll give you an award. I'll give you a bowling trophy the size of, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, because it is just the most out there thing I've ever heard. And so there's my challenge. I love taking pictures, and I think I'm really great at it. I think I'm a great photographer. There are all these people that are making music, like Radiohead and Patti Smith and U2 and Bjork, Polly Harvey and Grantley Buffalo and Hole. And they inspire me, they challenge me, they make me want to write better.
Hi, I'm Mike Mills of R.E.M. We're going to be in the hang, so join us, won't you? Bill's quitting sort of led to the freedom to go in all these weird directions that we might never have gone in otherwise, but we wanted to go in this time anyway. Like it's from the machine-driven sounds of hope to go ahead and exploring the Beach Boys options on At My Most Beautiful. Every door was opened, so we decided to go through as many of them as we could. It sort of careens from one song to the next, but there is the anything goes feel sort of ties it together in a strange way. But it was, it was our oyster, this record. Somebody came up to me one time and said, I understand the message. I said, there's no message. It's just lyrics and scribbles on a liner note. So it is true. I think people think that we have this sort of odd, focused mindset, and just because partly we never smile in photographs, but that's just out of fear of looking silly. The thing about touring for us at this point is it's, even if we were to play small places, it's such a big project. It's such, you have to plan it so far in ahead and get everyone together and get this entire group of people ready to go, and we just weren't ready for that. After all we've been through with all the changes that we've had, we decided that, better to regroup and reassess where we are and then go out later when we're a little more comfortable with our new position as a three-piece. If I weren't doing the band thing right now, I like to kid myself and think I'd be playing, AAA baseball somewhere. We got to be in a band with Warren Zevon for a while, and I got to sing with Robbie Robertson on his record, and sort of meeting the people that you've always admired and getting to actually sing and play with them is an amazing feeling. I think Hope is probably the song that would have surprised me the most 18 years ago, 17 years ago. It's the most machine-driven song on the record, and that was so far away from what we were doing then that it would have been a total shock, future shock.
Hi, this is Peter Buck of R.E.M. We're going to be talking in The Hang. Drop by and check it out. Especially this record, everything was out the window, and I swear every single person's personality changed during the making of it because it was such a weird and stressful situation. We had no rules. Everything that we had learned in the past was just out the window. So, I mean, we were all just like, what is going on now? I feel like the mood is kind of psychedelic. It's strange because we used all this 90s technology, drum loops and, sampling things, sampling ourselves. And somehow we managed to push it right back to 1967 in this weird way. I think some of the things on the records are kind of goofy, and we're certainly not, some kind of zenned out intellectuals or something. I mean, it's a kind of rock and roll process. I mean, come in the studio with us, I mean, everyone's having a glass of wine and, climbing into the piano and hammering on it. I mean, it's certainly not a really rigorously thought out thing, but people tend to think that we have some kind of plan and that we're judiciously adhering to this thing that we have, this goal, and we don't know what we're doing. We've never done one of those kind of Frank Sinatra records where you get 20 people in a room and just play the songs once, I mean, get a symphony or get a horn section or just get a lot of people. I always think that'd be a great thing to do. If someone had played me virtually anything on this record, but I think particularly maybe In the Air, I would have thought, geez, I'm going to go insane when I'm older because this is really nutty. It was so much of the vocabulary of this record is so far away from certainly what we were doing 15 years ago that I doubt very much I would have recognized it. Right when the band started, I was back in night school at the University of Georgia studying to get a degree in English to teach high school English. When I was 17, I would have given 10 years off my life to play with Patti Smith, and a summer ago, I got on stage and played with her. And I just was like, well, I can die now. I'm happy.